Hey everybody. Today I want to talk about something that has been affecting elections in the United States recently is the increase of the rural versus urban dichotomy that's really developing in the voting habits of voters in the United States. So you can actually see this trend across the entire United States with the exception of I think Alaska, and that's because I believe that Alaska's population is such distributed weirdly, and also it is such a low population density, so there's only a few places where people live, and those people tend to vote Republican. This has, I think, more to do with their rugged individualism that is developed and is persuasive through the Alaskan culture. So let's take a look at this. Let's take let's go look at Missouri. This is a great example of this because the Democrats are only able to win St. Louis County, Columbia, Kansas City, which just happen to be three of the four largest cities in Missouri, and they all go um, Democrat, and those are the only counties that voted for Hillary Clinton. And this is so consistent. Let's do this in again, you see the large urban areas of Illinois, which is basically Chicago. Springfield's a relatively minor city. So the larger the city, the more democratic it is. This is pretty much how it goes. There's a minor exception in Arizona, but that has more to do with the history of Arizona than anything. Again, you see Indiana, Republican state, Indianapolis, and Gary are pretty much the only two. And St. Joseph County is actually pretty populated. Fort Wayne is, but that's another traditional Republican area. Ohio, again and again and again. You see Kentucky, the two cities. Tennessee, the two of four cities. Again, in the South, you're going to see more cities vote Republican because it's traditionally Republican. This starts to break down once you actually get into the extreme South because they have the Black Belt, which African Americans overwhelmingly vote Democrat, and I don't understand this. Again, you're going to see this in Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, going Democrat. Texas, again, Fort Worth is a relatively conservative suburb area, while the urban core is in Dallas, and that's what I'm saying. So the Democrats truly win the urban cores and then minority counties. So, like southern Texas, not extremely heavily populated. Well, some areas are like this county here in the far south, heavily populated, and then you go over to Kennedy County, lightly populated but full of Hispanics. So this is where the Democrats need this would need this to continue because the urban areas are growing much faster than the rural areas. The Republicans do rule Phoenix just by a hair, and that's because the county is so large. The actual urban core of it is pretty Democrat. And then this is like, let's take Nevada. Nevada, zoom out a little bit. Nevada is what the Republicans need to do to. All they have to do is win Reno, which is extremely close. So it's a possibility win for them. They need to win Reno, keep Las Vegas under 10, and run up the score in the rest of the counties, which they can easily do. As you can see, 72% in White Pine County, 73% in Elko County. Extreme. And there's another one exception to the rural. Salt County is actually pretty Republican. Salt Lake City is actually pretty Republican, and this is probably going to do some Mormon issue. The issue is Donald Trump wasn't conservative enough for Utah, so they ran Evan McMullen. So if you do the math here, if Evan McMullen wasn't there, Donald Trump would have easily won Salt Lake City, and I think more Hillary Clinton voters would have gone Donald J. Trump in this case. Um, Summit County is just becoming a Democratic county, and because it's a rich ski areas also tend to vote Democrat, and that's exception to the rural urban thing. Wyoming is uniformly rural, and then there's the ski area. Colorado, again, all the population lives along these front areas, and there's also a large population of Hispanics and educated people, which tend to not vote Republican. So Republicans need to keep the rural vote, and start working on the minority vote. I don't think they have any chance with the city voters. They tend to vote I don't know why city voters. Maybe because the economic conditions, large population, minority. I don't understand. I can see why rural voters vote Republican because they're very individual minded, pro capitalism, generally more conservative. Look at and this holds true in um, Kansas, Nebraska. See the two urban areas. South Dakota, it's pretty much the only areas are Indian reservations, so minority. North Dakota again. Minnesota, it's the urban areas. Duluth and around Minneapolis and Rochester. So what's interesting is if you don't believe me, let's look at the full results of Maine. So here I am. I live in the state of Maine. If you look even more detailed, so around this Casco Bay is a heavily populated area in Maine. Rich, wealthy. Um, the minorities live in Portland, and the rest are just wealthy white communities. And then, as soon as you leave the coastal areas, which are rich, wealthy, and the vast majority, it becomes Republican really quick, as you can see. There's not a lot of data up here because it's lowly populated. And then Bethel, ski town. Newry, ski town. Freiburg is a wealthy area. Wealthy areas in Maine tend to vote Democrat. And also, look, Sea of Red City and University, where minorities live. Rich, wealthy liberals live along the coast. And this is why I think there's a greater and greater divide between this is evidence of a greater and greater rural divide, and I think we're going to see this continuing with these areas in central Maine will becoming more red, while these coastal, rich, wealthy minority areas will become more and more blue, and this is because mostly of shared experience and shared values. So this is just my hypothesis that may influence further election is the greater and greater rural versus city divide, and you can see this all over the country, from Virginia to Washington. It is clear. See, urban areas, extremely Democrat. Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, and that's it. Thank you guys for listening today. I thought this was gonna be just probably a quick video, and if you guys want me to do any other videos, please comment this down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. This is I like talking about elections and I like talking about politics. So this kind of works like both ways. So thank you guys for watching today. Oh, wait, one more thing. So changes from rural areas more and more red, heavily populated areas more and more blue, and you can see this trend across the whole entire country except for areas of what's it called, Texas and Utah and Arizona, and this is because of Mitt Romney, and I know large amounts of Mormons, was a Mormon and really more socially conservative than Donald Trump, and this is why these areas are going this way. However, the rest of the country is not, as you can see, a lot of red in the rural areas, and a little blue in the heavily populated area. And this is, you can see some of the biggest dramatic changes in northern Maine, all over the Midwest. Slightly less in the South because they're already extremely conservative. So thank you guys for listening today. Have a great day.